La la. Hello peeps and welcome back to Project Hospital. Welcome back to campaign 3, where we have sort of finished doing our deep dives, in-depth looks at different aspects of the hospital, and now we're here just trying to complete another objective in order to complete the hospital. If you would like me though to cover anything else in depth that I haven't yet covered, please do leave a comment below on what you would like to know more about, and I shall look into it. I have been having problems though with this bit of floor. I've been messing around with it. I made it just its own little corridor area. I got loads of staff to work as janitors in emergency. I noticed that internal medicine was very clean and that they had a huge closet for lots of janitors. So I've now made it an internal medicine corridor, and they are still not cleaning it. They seem to get up to here and then they stop and move away. I don't know why. I don't know what's wrong with it, but I am having trouble getting this little bit here clean. I really don't know why. Anyway, you can see here that we have made 33% because of all the building and designs and the things I've been buying to show you during the in-depth episodes. We've not actually been able to achieve this because I keep spending money like there is no tomorrow. So what would be nice is to actually sit back and run the hospital for a little bit and see if there are any places where we do need to cut back costs. A good way to find out if you need to cut back costs is to have a look at so we can see how much our walk-in clinics are earning and how much we're paying out in wages, and I would say that's a fairly good divide, and we can see here that we did quite well in hospitalization compared to what we're paying to pay the staff that work there. We can see that these 3 departments pay out in wages but make no money at all. That's pretty standard, so it gives us a total. So it's plus this, minus this, plus this, minus this, and then also, oh no, they've already been removed, giving us this total. So this is the difference here, isn't it? So we can see that we earned this in emergency, we paid that in wages, we got no hospitalization yesterday, we didn't hospitalize anybody at all in emergency, but we still had to pay wages, of course, so they did absolutely nothing. So we made a profit here. And we can see that in internal medicine we paid we received this in walk-ins, we paid out this in wages, so we can see that this doesn't really quite match up. We are exceeding in wages to who we're processing in the walk-in clinics, and this could be an area if we wanted to cut back costs that we would have a look at who this is. But at the same time, hospitalization made a massive amount of money and we didn't pay that much out in wages, meaning we made a huge profit. So it could be that some of these people actually also look after hospitalized patients, and then we would know that this is absolutely worth keeping the people that are doing this. But for example, in hospitalization, these specialized clinics, cardiology and that, like where do their wages go? Because they do both ward and clinic, right? So I find that tricky to know, but ultimately we made 19,500. We spent a bunch of stuff in the corridors, which was fantastic. Now we pay, I think it's 500 per ambulance. Other costs, I employed some new janitors, and I did some searching for those janitors, where you pay to see their traits and stuff like that. So that's what I spent trying to employ a few new janitors, which is quite a lot for some cheap janitors. Although we did get some pretty expensive janitors, I thought, we might invest in a couple of really good janitors in hope that we might actually get this clean. And alas, it's still quite filthy. So I thought what we would do, and another way of looking at what's going well. So we can see here that orthopedics, so sometimes this reads 5 stars and sometimes it falls quite drastically. And I've noticed that usually it's radiology and the medical laboratories that fall, and all the other departments are fine. But we can see here that intensive care unit and the orthopedic department are actually pretty awful. Really low on the old star rating. If we look at the orthopedic department, what can we tell from this? So we can see here that last night there was 2 rooms reading critical. So it could be that there was patients having long waits and stuff like that. Staff satisfaction was low. So it could be that with this and this, and we can see here that their workloads are pretty high. They're not having time to deal with their needs, which is causing problems. So we can see as well that patient satisfaction probably isn't all the best. It could be that, you know, there's too many on the wards needing attention on the wards, and it could be that the ward nurses are just overrun, so patients aren't getting everything that they need. So this is a good way of looking at you know, what's going on here, where we might be able to improve things, and we've got an instant feedback on that. And it tends to be that we have problems at night time, but during the day this gets up to 5 stars. So nighttime, our night shifts is definitely a problem at the moment. There's no doubt about it. Let's speed up time. I did have a look at this patient. This patient crashed. Barbara Jackson here. So I sent her to the ICU just to look after her. Make sure that she's okay. She had her surgery and everything, but she crashed after it. We can see here that we know all the symptoms. So I've just decided to put her in, you know, constant care. I just felt the ICU might be better for Barbara. But she looks like she might be okay now, so I might take her off favourite. We'll remove her. Yeah. So we're just fast forwarding this. We want to get through these 3 days. Hopefully we'll make enough money. I'm not entirely sure that we will. You can see now that what is going on here. We can definitely see there is something going on here. There's definitely a problem here, isn't there? What is he cleaning exactly? Look at this XP that he's getting. What is going on with this guy? I don't know what's happening here. Something's definitely bugged here, isn't there? They definitely want to clean this. I tell you what, though, it's working for him. It's how much do we pay him? 173. Wow. I mean, that's pretty fantastic. There's something here, isn't there? That's definitely upsetting the process. We've now got blood. Oh, we did the one by the door. Shall we? I think we got a bit further up this corridor. No, it's the same. Should I remove this table? Like, what's causing it exactly? As nice as it is for him to just be glitching out on getting his stats up really, really high, I'd really quite like to get this clean. So if we remove that table, does this help at all? Well, I mean, what is going on? Thomas. Oh, we got another square out of it. Okay. It's very bizarre, isn't it? I don't quite know what's happening here. What am I saving? Oh, no. Oh, he did a bit more of it there. Maybe this is upsetting everything. You know, maybe it is. Maybe this is just upsetting everybody. Ugh, I don't know. What we do know, though, is that having these restricted doors doesn't stop patients walking through them, which in my mind says, well, why do we bother having them? Do you know what I mean? What is the point of having a restricted door if people just waltz through them? Nobody knows, so we'll just stick those on. This is stupid. Okay, but then no, he's still glitching out like crazy. Really getting up those stats. I wonder if there's a way of recreating this problem. You know, just so you can like level up your janitors en masse. Oh, right. Look, we've actually got something to do. Everybody. Right, okay. Karen Williams, the hospital's looking after itself pretty well at the moment. So Karen Williams here. I can't say that. Pneumothorax. Okay, I think I got it, everyone. A collapsed lung, essentially. She's in internal medicine, also called that. Occurs when air escapes the lung, filling the space between the lung and the chest wall, preventing expansion of the affected lung. So she can't breathe. Not what we want. So she is currently on the high dependency unit. She has respiratory failure, so she needs to go on to artificial ventilation. We can see here that we have the technician. So remember me saying in our in-depth technician thing that technicians being nearby the wards is a good thing, because they do come and deal with crashing patients that need big whopping pieces of equipment like artificial ventilation, which helps artificially them to breathe, right, to restore or help with respiration by exchange of the gases by the respiratory system. It consists of an endotracheal I do know the word, yet for some reason intubation of the patient and connecting it to the mechanical ventilation. I'm just not so good of a reader. I know read so good. So anyway, what's going on here? I'm not sure that we need... we're having trouble with the busyness of some of these departments. And we know most of the symptoms here, and this isn't going to cause a crash. She's had her surgery. She does have some uncomfortable things. She has chest pain, which she's complaining about. So if we gave her these painkillers, if we administer those, her discomfort would be better, and also we can help with this as well, just make her more comfortable. But I don't like the fact that she crashed. Ultimately, what is this? A clinic patient hasn't been seen by a doctor in a very long time and is getting tired of waiting. Okay, so we're going to have to go and see her. So there is a part of me that's fairly tempted, especially given that we don't know why she crashed. I mean, she had a collapsed lung after she's had her surgery. Do you know what I mean? So it's definitely worth, I think, keeping her. They definitely want to go back to the x-ray and that. Fair enough. So there's a part of me that's considering sending her to the ICU. In fact, we might do that. We might send her to the ICU, which is an interesting point. So if we move her to the ICU, because her bill is currently at 4,000, almost 4,500. So I'm assuming, because she comes through internal medicine, she started off hospitalised here, that her income would come from here, because we never see income, I don't think. Or do we see income from intensive care at the ICU? Yeah. Intensive care unit. Let's send her there, and we can always take a look at that, because the equipment, she'll be a high priority there. So we're able to send her to the ICU because she has a diagnosis, right? So you can only send people to the ICU if they have a final diagnosis. People who are undiagnosed will actually go to the trauma centre. So that's the thing. But it also means that she becomes really high priority. So this is also a good way of somebody that urgently needs surgery, send them to the ICU, because once they're in the ICU, they will be sent to surgery before people that are on the high dependency unit or regular or wherever they are. So they will just take precedence, so that's really good to know. I want her to have these tests really, really quickly, because she has crashed and there's no clear apparent reason why. So she just makes me a little bit nervous. I really don't want her to die, so I'm just going to do everything that I can. I'm going in my best power to make sure that she's okay. And in the intensive care unit, there's somebody watching her all the time, and she's surrounded by massive equipment, and they'll just do a lot of this without having to send her to the diagnostic unit, send her back to here, send her over there. They'll just do it all right there and then, which would be absolutely fantastic. So Nancy Williams here is sick and tired of waiting. So Nancy is on the emergency walk-in clinics, we can see here. So how busy are they? So let's look at walk-ins for emergency. Wow. So what we would like to do is just, one, deal with Nancy because she's had enough. So ultimately we can see that here that she probably has a general surgery issue. And if we go to general surgery, their walk-in is pretty good, right? In fact, this lady, we know what's wrong with this lady. She needs this business at the sonography unit at general surgery. I don't think she needs to be hospitalized for that. I don't think she does, but do you know what we might do? We might put her in hospitalization. How many beds have we got in general surgery? We've got loads in regular hospitalization, and we'll get some money. So we'll pop her in there, and at the same time, let's just deal with the variety of other things. She's quite uncomfortable, so if we can just deal with these as well while we're at it. So that will get her out of here, and then so Nancy would get a pretty good priority over here. She has a fever, so I think that we should deal with that because it's making her a bit uncomfortable. It doesn't say it there, but it is. So we're going to send her there and let them deal with her. So she'll should go to the top of the queue, and what we'll do, we'll make her a favourite so we can keep an eye on what's going on with her, make sure that she's processed fairly quickly. We're also just going to keep an eye on her, make sure that she's okay. We don't need to look at you anymore. That was a short thing. So what we want to do is just have a look through here. Like they're clearly very busy over here. What can we do? So 1, 2, we've also got Thomas there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So is there anybody that we can move off this department? So we can see Christopher Hill here is currently being seen, I think, by somebody. We can see here that he has a fever. These two symptoms here are making him quite uncomfortable. So we would like to try and resolve that. And we know we've got some possible diagnosis here. So he could be emergency, he could be internal medicine. And quite honestly, I'd like to know. So is it something to do with his throat or not? The best way for us to find out probably is going to be an oral cavity inspection. So why don't we do one of those, and it might get these off the list, meaning that he would definitely be an internal medicine issue, and then we can change his department. So that could be quite good for him. And what's nice about this is it's a low discomfort. It really doesn't cause many problems at all. So, and it could find us a bunch of symptoms. So that's fairly good. These we don't really know anything about. This could just be numbing ointment. It could be a fracture. Again, she is currently in being looked at right now. So what's the easiest, quickest way of finding this out? We might just go for a differential, and then we know either way, right? So we've got those down to Jennifer Green. So let's get rid of these, and then from Jennifer Green, let's see if there's anybody else that we can, any way that we can make this a shorter queue. So this is, I mean, it looks like she's currently in the room now. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame because she could have gone to internal medicine, but she is being treated and she's currently going to be sent away. We don't know anything about him. We don't know anything about you. So interesting here though, look. We've got a whole bunch of things that it could be. Now, we know it's not going to be either one of these two because we don't have cardiology here, so the game's not going to send them to us. So it could be orthopedy. It could be emergency. Which one is out of these four? What would be the quickest, easiest way of dealing with it? First of all, let's give her some painkillers for that pain that she is in. So out of the emergency ones... because we would like to try and avoid x-ray, I suppose physical it's going to be the good one. What else could we do? We don't really want to do blood tests. The interview, just doing the interview and the physical examination alone could get us a result for that. Do I send her away from emergency just to make this queue a little bit shorter? If we sent her to orthopedy, yeah, there's not much going on at orthopedy, so maybe we take the risk that she's an orthopedy patient, and get her out of this queue. Just to try and reduce it down. But I gotta be honest, there's not a lot here. Well, he's definitely internal medicine, so let's send him to internal medicine. Let's do that. And he's pretty dirty floor, and he's bored. Yeah, this floor is such a problem. I don't know. I wish I could fix it. I wish I could fix it for you, but I can't. But there we are. We're going to send you there. You might actually have a fever. But yeah, send him to internal medicine. He's out of this department as well. But yeah, it's really busy actually on the emergency department. It really, really is. Still don't know what's going on here. They really, really want to clean this. It's not happening. I think it's just bugged out, and there's not really much that I can do about this. So another clinic patient that's been here for a long old time. What is going on actually with... There's loads of beds available. So another way that we could do it is we could actually put him into observation. But I think he still has to be seen by the doctor to go to observation. Because I'm thinking if he's waiting ages, we could just hospitalise him. They are just all tired of waiting. We're not going to get them in, are we? We're just not going to get them in. So... What's happening with all the staff here? Is it all just incredibly high, medium, 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 low, high? It's interesting, isn't it? That they're taking ages. That's interesting. So we've got... See this one doctor with... I mean, she has all the patients. Isn't that insane? Isn't that insane? So Dana here... Who's Dana? Yeah, Dana's in this crazy queue here. Which one was low? You're low. Michael Davis is low. Shall we send Dana here? Dana to Michael Davis. That's insane, isn't it? Could this be a problem here? Is she being overworked? I mean, she seems fine. She's got lots of reception skills. I don't really know what that problem is. Why is this so wildly disproportioned? We don't need to give her anymore. We don't want to give him anymore. He could take more. He could take more. But Fraser here could definitely take the majority. So Dana was complaining. I don't know who the other guy was that was complaining now. I can't remember his name. But do you know... We can see satisfaction levels, so maybe we'll put Patricia Wilson here. Could go to Fraser, because she's pretty unhappy. Fraser. She's pretty unhappy. Who else have you got here that's really unhappy? Okay, Karen, there we go. Karen, would you like to go to Fraser? This is weird, isn't it? What a weird thing that's going on here. Why is this happening? Okay, so you have 2, 2, and 3. Okay, so... oh, look. Dana's back here. That's not... Why? Go to Michael Davis. Jennifer. I'd like you to go to David Wilson. Why is this happening? Oops. I think it's pretty confusing. Pretty confusing as to why that's happening. I don't understand why there's just so many of them here for this one doctor. You know, would you like to go to Fraser? Oh, okay. It's getting a little bit better, isn't it? Jennifer, you're going home. Okay, all right. That was very weird. So what have we got going on here? A favourite patient has been diagnosed with shingles. Emergency. Emergency. Okay, well, so antivirals. She should be fine. They've dealt with the fever, so we can see here that her comfort has gone right back up, which is absolutely fantastic. We don't need that physical examination. Just give her antivirals, send her home. She's no longer a favourite. But we got her seen, so that was nice. That was very nice. Yeah, blimey. So we do have, and we can see here that we've had 2 walkouts. On those walkouts, we don't know a great deal about them. We know nothing about Judy at all. This guy, we're not sure. You know, he's got pain in his ears. Apparently he could have a problem with his mandible. Might send him straight there tomorrow. Get them to deal with it. Okay. So, emergency is calming down now for walk-ins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Look, we've got... Can we do anything with any of them? Some of them. Well, so he might be better actually in the orthopedic department. Oh, he's already being examined. Jeez. Maybe get a USG going for this guy. He's currently being examined. Let's do a differential if we can, rather than an X-ray. This is probably internal medicine. Oh no. It could be... Well, we know it's not those 2 things. But she is being examined. She's already in, which is fantastic. You're having your blood pressure measured, which is nice. Do you know what we might do is take your temperature just in case you have a fever or something. Yeah. Excellent. So, hopefully, that would have helped just a little bit. Just a little bit. Hopefully, we helped. So, you're still down here, freaking out. I mean, I've deleted and rebuilt this floor so many times now. I just don't... Given that this is no longer a waiting room, shall we get rid of these? Let's move this... Should we move this plant? In fact, let's move both these plants. Let's put this plant just there, randomly. Does this help? No? Like I say, I've deleted the floor multiple times and rebuilt it. I've even changed the department it's built in. Is it a problem with him, maybe? Because they all think that he is cleaning it. But I don't want to sack him, because look! What if we put him... Where is his... Where does he... He does work emergency. You are... Where are you? Where's your cleaning closet? Do you work in the one upstairs? What department do you work on, Thomas? I mean, it says you work on emergency, but you're not there. And this isn't actually your department. Hang on a minute. Do you work over here? Oh my goodness. Where does he work? It says that he works in emergency, but I don't see him working in emergency. If we come to emergency, staff, janitors, Thomas. Then it says day. He does seem to... Okay, if I put you to nighttime, Thomas, there you... Oh, that was him there. Just... Why are you can't clean this? Can you go home? Because that's not actually their department anymore. So who are you? So Jane is now working on it. Because like I say, this is now belonging to internal medicine. They shouldn't be messing with this at all. How bizarre. Do you know what we might do then, in this case? We might turn this back, because it wasn't working. We'll turn this back to emergency. I don't know what's going on with this. Just somebody clean it, please. It's an absolute nightmare. Absolute nightmare. Let's fast forward. What is this now? Right, okay. So they took her away from the ICU to give her an X-ray. She's having an urgent echo. She's crashed again. We don't know why. What is going on? So she is now... I mean, I'm really worried about Karen Williams. I think she might die, and I honestly don't know what I can do to help her. Do you know what I mean? So, wow. Okay. Again, where is he? I actually can't see him walking, and I thought that he had gone home. I thought he had rage quit. And we actually can't see him moving around. This game is really buggy, isn't it? We've got a lot of bugs here, everybody. We've got a lot of bugs here. He's not assigned to any doctor either. This is our daytime doctor. This is our nighttime doctor. Let's assign him to a doctor. Go into a chair. He's invisible. He's interesting. Let's put him to favourite. Because they're both very intriguing. Okay, so nighttime has arrived. We're going to limp this hospital along. Hopefully, we'll be able to get the second day in a row with this income. We're not spending anything. It looks like it's going okay at the moment. Oh my goodness, I really do hope so.
Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. If you did, please hit that like button. As long as you are here, why not take your first step on the path to total coolness by supporting me via Patreon. The cooler you are, the harder I work, which means even more SHIZWAH.